After 40 years, I finally found this guitar. Yep, you heard me right, guys. Like 40 years, this guitar has been sort of like missing. And when I say missing, what I mean by that is that this guitar has been sitting in the attic of my mom's house for like the past 40 years. I didn't even know it was there until I was there probably a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. She lives in another state, so I'm not there all the time. Anyway, I was there visiting, and she's like, hey, you know, we've been cleaning out stuff, cleaning out the attic, and why don't you take this guitar home with you? And I was like, what guitar? What is that? And I took a quick peek inside the case. I mean, we were literally like getting in the car and about ready to drive away, you know, drive back to California, all day drive. And she's like, here, don't forget this, take this home with you. And I'm like, what the heck? So I took a quick peek inside the case just to remind myself, like, well, what is it? And I went, oh yeah, that kind of looks familiar. Stuck it in the trunk, drove all the way home, got home, threw it in my garage, and then forgot about it for like the past 2 or 3 years. And then just the other day, I'm out in my garage trying to clean out all the junk in my garage and found this sitting there and went, oh yeah, that's the guitar that my mom told me to take home. Maybe I should take a closer look at it. So what this is, guys, this was my brother's first guitar, my older brother. He's like 10 years older than me. And he's probably like part of the reason why I ended up taking up guitar and took guitar lessons. Although he never really took to the guitar like I did and kind of sort of just gave up on it after a while. But, you know, I guess you could say he was one of my early influences. All right, let's open up the case and see exactly what is in here. I need to figure out what this is, and I'm kind of hoping that one of you guys out there might know what this is and have some more information on it. Yeah, this case has definitely seen better days. I think it's got 2 latches that are working and then 1 or 2 that are broken, and it's peeling and everything. Like, yikes, what a mess. Okay, interesting. All right. So let me see if I can get it out here and then get the case out of the way without destroying the case, hopefully. All right, there we go. Okay, take a look at this, guys. What the heck is this? So it's an acoustic, obviously. It's not a full-size acoustic. It's like a little bit smaller. I don't know if this was like some kind of kid's guitar or something, because when my brother got it, he might have been around 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm guessing. And also, when I asked my mom and I asked my brother, they were absolutely no help at all. They don't remember anything about this guitar, like where they got it, when they got it, nothing. There's no name on the headstock. It's just got this like atomic bomb symbol or whatever that is, radioactive, I don't know. There's no kind of label like inside that you see a lot of times on acoustic guitars. However, it does have a little bit of information on the back of the headstock. It's some kind of like model number or serial number, I don't know. And interesting, it does say made in the USA. Now, if I go by kind of like a timeline in my head about the time when my brother may have gotten this, we're talking like very late 60s, maybe early 70s. So this guitar is potentially over 50 years old. And that's probably pretty accurate. Now the guitar itself has definitely seen better days. We've got the high E string like hanging off, like it's broken off down here. It's missing the top E string, and the other 4 strings look pretty grungy and corroded. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that these are probably the original strings that this guitar came with, because I just can't imagine that way back then, when my brother was a little kid and my parents who knew nothing about music, that they ever would have changed the strings on the guitar. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and pause the camera. I'm gonna jump on my computer, I'm gonna jump on the internet, and I'm gonna put in like that model number, serial number, whatever that is, and see if I can get any information and find out something about this. I'll be right back. Okay, I actually found out some information about this like immediately by typing in that model number. And I found people selling these online. Somebody's trying to sell one exactly like this on eBay for like 300 bucks. His is probably in a little bit better condition. At least it's got all 6 strings on it. Anyway, I didn't do any extensive research. I just was over there for like a couple of minutes, and according to the guy that's selling it on eBay, he says that this is a Stella by Harmony, and it was sold by Sears. Remember the store? Sears, like JCPenney, the big department store? And that makes total sense, because when I think back to around that timeline and where we lived at the time, I doubt that there were any music stores anywhere in our area. So my parents going to Sears and buying it, or maybe buying it from the Sears catalog, that makes total sense. Now, the other little bit of information that I got about this guitar is that this is called a parlor guitar. So they didn't really call it like a kid's guitar, it was called a parlor guitar, meaning it's smaller, because back in the day, back in the old days, I don't know when, but a while ago, like people would sit in a parlor, which again, from my little bit of research, looked kind of like it was like a bar or something. Anyway, people sitting around, and there's somebody like sitting on a stool in the parlor playing music on one of these little guitars, and that's why they called it a parlor guitar. And I think they still have them. I think you can still buy parlor guitars. So guys, I would really like to know if any of you guys out there remember ever having one of these guitars, or do you remember seeing one? Anything, any memories or recollection or any information about this guitar, and like, was there ever another model? Was this the only color? Was there, I mean, yeah, I don't really know anything, and I'd like to know more information about it. So now we're down to like, what am I gonna do with this guitar? So I've got it. It's in pretty bad shape. It's been in an attic for more than 40 years, and then in my garage for a couple of years. Yeah, I could try to like fix it up, put new strings on it, and you know, set it up and get it playing and sounding decent, clean up the frets and stuff. But I think I'm not gonna do that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it in this state, because this is the state that it's been in for so long, and I kind of want to leave it almost like a museum piece or an antique piece. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You ever been to like a ghost town? One of those old Western ghost towns? And when you go there, the buildings are very old. They look like they're about to fall down. They don't fix them up. They don't repaint them. They don't put new furniture in there to make them look like new buildings. They keep them looking old. And so, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I think I'm just going to leave this guitar like this, and I'll just hang on to it because it's a very good memory for me. It's a good memory being like, this was the first guitar that I ever tried to play and kind of messed around on before I got my actual first guitar and then started taking lessons. So yeah, a lot of sentimental memories, I guess you could say. Alrighty guys, so that is it for the Stella by Harmony, sold by Sears, atomic radiation guitar, or whatever it is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.